Welcome to the GLAC studio. This is Gomathi, Siva Sankaran, founder CEO, the guiding light art company building bright futures through art. Today, in the ninth episode of the GLAC What Next series, Change Management in Practice, we are meeting a strategy consultant, business transformation, and organizational change management expert, Raghuveer Ramkumar. Raghuveer started his career with a background in technology. However, he chose to leverage that background in the industry context and over time developed functional skills to become a strategy consultant. Having leveraged his cross-sector experience and transferable skills, his career progress is a good example of an organic yet different career evolution. Let's listen to his perspective and his take on change management in practice.
Very early on, about 2011-12, when IBM published its new strategy specializing in cloud analytics, mobile, social, and security, and a team called Mobile First to help drive the Mobile First strategy forward. And subsequently, I was involved in driving social business transformation across our India, South Asia, East Asia, Australasia, Central Eastern Europe, and Western Europe offices. And then there was a major transformation on Agile that was happening. So adopting Agile, kind of driving change, advocating Agile ways of working. So I took that on as another challenge, specializing in that area. So I would say to summarize, I did a number of things at IBM just trying to help me figure out what is it that I really want to be doing, what is it that I'm passionate about, where does my interest lie, and it really came through networking, connecting, being curious, and not kind of just focused on what I was doing, but rather trying to kind of understand what's the impact of what I was doing and what's the big picture on things. Going back to there is such a myth, especially in the community that looks to do an MBA around, moving from one sort of department to the other, one sort of career skill set to another. I think, and people tend to kind of miss the entire sectoral domain aspect of things. So in my case, yes, I did have an undergraduation in technology, and I used all of that background because I worked in the technology industry. So IBM.
You did.
IBM is a technology company. So rather than seeing it as a skill set, a functional skill set that I have to use, I saw it more as a domain skill set or a sector skill set that I can apply.
You've been an international pro bono consultant for a women's enterprise fund.
It is probably one of my memorable times while at IBM and a lifetime experience, especially living in Nairobi, working with an international of about 14, 15 very highly talented people from around the world. It was brilliant. So IBM had this program called IBM Corporate Service Corps, where it selects 100 people every year. It's 400,000 odd IBMers around the world to go on international pro bono projects in a country which is none of our home country. So we were a group of about 15 of us who were chosen to work with the government of Kenya in 2014. And as part of that, I was engaged in this project working with Women Enterprise Fund, essentially looking at how can they become sustainable as an organization, achieve both financial sustainability and at the same time also start to think about what should their kind of long-term roadmap look like. So it was very interesting. We did a number of focus group discussions, went on the ground, started to understand what real challenges that women had. And so it was nice going to the Kikuyu County and Embakasi County in Kenya, learning a bit of Swahili, interacting with the locals. There's definitely that fun aspect of it, but I think underlying all of that was the very humble fact that people had genuine problems, right? So there was there was a woman entrepreneur who was farming catfish in her front yard. And she said, I didn't know that catfish take, whatever long to mature, and there is no market for immature catfish. So she didn't know that, right? So she got a ton of catfish to actually grow them in the front yard, but she didn't know that she had to actually safeguard them for another 18 months or 2 years, because she didn't know that there was no market for catfish which are mature, and they have to mature, and it'll take about 2 years time. And until then, she needed the infrastructure to keep them alive. She had to protect them from passers-by who used to steal away fish and feed them. So it's basic information, but they didn't know that information. So things like that, I think, kind of make you realize that, it's just such a simple thing of knowledge sharing.
Yeah.
What they had to do was just understand that this is how long it takes for it to go to the market.
Yeah.
So it's empowering them with those basic skill sets, capacity building in the front end, and then also supporting them through the market connection enablement was something that we focused on while we were there. But not forget, it was personally, it was a great experience for me as well, cultural experience, because working with colleagues from different backgrounds and different cultures, that's totally different to yours. So it was a very good lifetime experience, both personally, professionally, and I would almost say kind of that was probably one thing that motivated me to do an MBA from Lancaster as well, owing to the cultural variety and significance.